And good afternoon, everybody. This is Vincent Maletti with Maletti Law, the strongest name in law. And now, as of today, September 6th, Labor Day, possibly the most restricted name in law, thanks to our friends at GoFundMe and PayPal and, YouTube and everybody else that seems to be thwarting, our plans to try to build some kind of fund to be able to protect the nurses. So, here we are again with yet another video. This will be a shorter, quicker video. This is a very quick Q&A. I'm getting a lot of questions from various nurses in various locations. What do I do in order to prepare for these mandates? What do I do in order to prepare? Look, the fact of the matter is you're never going to know because it's changing day by day, okay? The law says one thing, the law on the COVID says another thing, and it changes every day. You see just now in California, the governor just redacted all those mandates and requirements for the vaccine. Will it happen in New York? I don't know. Likely, maybe. Who knows, right? So, you got to be prepared for the unprepared, be prepared for the unexpected. But for those of you who are preparing for litigation, I'm going to give you have these 5 steps that you must take. 5 steps that you must take to prepare for your lawsuit to defend yourself against your employers. Okay, so the title of this video is the 5 steps that you must take to prepare yourself for your lawsuit against your employers. Okay, this is strictly going to be for those that want the medical exemptions. We're doing one, right? We'll do one for religious shortly, pretty soon, but these are ones specifically for the medical exemptions. Okay, step 1, make sure that you have a doctor that is prepared to write an opinion on your behalf. Okay, the doctor's going to write an opinion stating your condition, your medical condition. I presume you all have legitimate medical conditions. So your medical condition, okay, what that risk is, and what risk is increased as a result of the vaccine or the mechanisms in which it's distributed. So, for instance, piercing skin, syringes, whatever the case may be. And you have an aversion, a really bad detrimental aversion to needles, allergies, whatever the case is, okay? So doctors will write about your condition, whatever that is, whatever your medical issue is, your risk as it relates to taking the vaccine, and then what accommodation you need in order to alleviate those medical concerns that you run into. All right, so that's step 1. Step 2, you're all going to get a letter from your HR departments. They've been doing it left and right. Every hospital has been doing it. That your HR departments are going to give you they're going to write in advance that they're not going to pay out your severance, they're not going to pay out your unemployment, they're not going to pay out they're not going to pay out your benefits, they're not going to pay out your PTO, and just a bunch of nonsense. And then at the end, they all like to say that, in the end of it, they all like to say that you will have voluntarily resigned if you don't get the vaccination, okay? You will need to write back to them. So make sure in step 2 is when you be on the lookout for this email. You will need to write back to them and correct the record. The last thing you want in this world is for your employer to have the last word and to construct the narrative, because your employer will construct the narrative to play to where they're the victim, to where they're just trying to be the good corporate citizen employer and they're trying to help protect everybody. And you being the selfish, greedy, disgusting, unvaccinated leper, you're the problem. And you've done it on your own volition. They're just victims, the employer. Do not let them construct a narrative. Push back. Write your letter responding to their letter. We offer a bunch of templates for you to use to get senses of, get a sense of what you should be writing back on. Certainly come to my website. Email me and we'll certainly share these things with you. Okay, so the second step is make sure that you put your complaint, your rebuttal in writing. When you put your writing back, you're going to remind the employer that you are ready, willing, and able to work, and but for this new condition of employment that was never there when you first started, that they're creating, that never was detrimental before to their company, suddenly now it's detrimental, whatever the case is, but with no reason preferred, and that they're ignoring your interest in getting some kind of accommodation or something. Make sure they know they're very aware about this, because you're going to be leaning on this later on. Remember, you need to construct a narrative to correct the record, because it's when you do wind up going to unemployment, or you do wind up going to court, whatever the case is, you got to make sure you have documentary evidence to prove all this. Okay, make sure you request your accommodation. If you really have a medical issue and you need a medical exemption, you need to put it in writing and send it to HR. Put it in writing, notify your human resources, notify your supervisor, request if the company has any accommodation or request forms or whatever the case is, whatever forms they have. If you do not have an accommodation form, I would suggest what's known as the WH-380E. That's a certification form that the Department of Labor will let you use for FMLA. So you might want to use that. You can use some form of that for your employer. They should already have one, but if they don't, that's a good way to go. Step 4, you need to be prepared for this, but preempt any performance-related excuses that you may come into with your employer. So here's what might happen, right? So you might refuse the vax and say, whatever, I object to it, or I need a medical exemption. And they might come back and say, oh, well, you know what? Well, one of the reasons why we terminated you was a very poor performance, or I don't know, something, right? It's you could still push back on them, but still, you want to make sure you have a clean record. So make sure you have a clean record. Any issues, work them out. Go to work every day, continue like normal, like nothing happened. If they're telling you, oh, September, whatever, I don't know, September 20th, was that a Monday? September 20th, you can't come in and you're going to be on unpaid suspension and we're going to expect you to go get no, just go into work that day. Let them terminate you. Because if they terminate, because right now they're trying to say that they're not terminating you. That's why they sent those emails about that is a voluntary resignation. It's not. Let them terminate you. So keep working like usual. So that's step 4. Keep working like usual. Preempt any performance-related issues. And then the 5th and final step I want you all to do on the day of your alleged separation, let's say it's Monday, September 20th. I want you to go to work that morning. All of you go to work that morning like nothing happened, like as if that email never came. 1, there's a possibility it might not even be in effect anymore. And 2, the reality is you're not quitting your job. Contrary to what they're trying to tell you, the narrative they're trying to construct, you're not quitting your job. Going to work as usual. If they tell you you have to leave, say, why do I have to leave? Oh, because you voluntarily resigned. Really? Because I voluntarily resigned because I didn't get the vaccine. I'm here, ready, willing, able to work, a job that I've been doing my whole life, a job that I've done last year before the vax, a job I've been doing forever. I have no performance issues. I'm a great employee. It's only this one condition that you guys and girls are enforcing on me. This one single condition that you're forcing on everybody here and giving us no exemptions. You're not following our exemptions. You're not giving us any other opportunity or abilities. But in reality, you're just creating a work environment that is so intolerable that you leave me no choice, but you're actually terminating me, telling me it's my own fault, and it's a constructive termination. Okay, so refuse, say, I'm going to work. Go, if you have problems, call management. Let management escort you out with security. Have somebody take a picture, have somebody take a video, whatever the case is. Don't fight, don't make a big deal. Normal course of business. Don't give them any reason to say that you've been a terrible employee. Don't give them any reason to say you have misconduct. Let them walk you out and let them do that if that's the case. Because at the end of the day, you want to show that you're right on the side of the law and you're right on the morality of the situation. You don't want to give them any inch. You went down to the end of the day on principle and integrity, and you will get your unemployment after that. And then once you get your unemployment, you'll have more room to do whatever you want to do. So those are my 5 tips. Right now, the 5 essential steps that you have to take to prepare for your lawsuit. Go through one more time, make sure you have a doctor that's prepared to write a note on your behalf. Write to HR, request accommodation and request the forms. If not, prepare your own. 3, make sure you respond to all those emails that they send out where they're trying to construct a narrative that you are the one that's in fact quitting your job. Step 4, preempt any excuses of any preempt any kind of performance-related excuses. Continue to work as usual, still do a great job, still perform until your day. 5, on the day of, if they have not already canceled it or rescheduled it, whatever the case is, if they had not done that already, keep doing what you do on the day of, and then let them actually forcibly separate you, and make sure you put it on the record that day, and then you tell them that day, I'm here because I'm ready, willing, and able to work the right way, like I'm supposed to do, like I've been doing all these years, and now suddenly you just started this new thing. You create this Hobson choice that I have no other way to go. So remember, that's how you do it. Those are the 5 steps. You set those 5 steps in motion, you will have a great base for your lawsuit. You'll have a great base for your unemployment hearing. And that's my hint. So hopefully this was helpful. Share this with your friends. Shoot it out. Subscribe on YouTube. YouTube probably will block this. I don't know. I'm going to email it to you too. Who knows? There'll be copies of everything everywhere. But so subscribe to the newsletter, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll take it one day at a time.